YouTube says it has had enough of vaccine misinformation on its site.
And false stories from phony sites to run circles around major news outlets.
Many people don't know the difference between something real and something created to deceive them.
Open your eyes.
If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. Anytime there's a natural disaster, which of course in this case and most cases now, as most of you know, are not actually natural disasters, they're man-made disasters. But of course, anytime these things happen, we hear about the Red Cross. Celebrities will come on TV and tell us that we could help, we need to help, and everybody, of course, feels led. Everybody out there who's a good human being wants to help when they see people in need. Of course, they don't realize that they're being played by the celebrities on television who could easily solve all the issues that anybody's having in one of these natural disasters. Any problems that most of these people are having in third world countries, these celebrities, with the money they have, they could solve those problems themselves. They just don't tell anybody out there that they're actually on board with helping create these problems, and they play the role of philanthropists on TV, just like they're taught in their secret societies to play the role of philanthropists and charitable people so that nobody realizes who they are and what they really do. So anytime these events occur, it's always great when attention gets brought on things like FEMA, so people out there can start realizing what FEMA really is and what its purpose really is, which is not to help people, it's to round people up. But the other thing that I'm going to use this opportunity to talk about is the Red Cross, because one of my very first videos was actually on the Red Cross back in the, well, I'm a new YouTuber, but back in the year 2016, and I talked about the Red Cross to bring attention to the Red Cross, because all these charities are actually a scam. They're a scam, and they have the occult's fingerprints written all over it. They prey on people, on nice people, on good people, and of course, when people donate to these causes, it stops them from actually getting involved themselves and helping. They think that by sending money to a third person or, you know, a middleman like the Red Cross, that the money gets to these people and it helps save their lives. And people feel like that's all they really need to do. And you're seeing the same effects with FEMA, right? You're seeing people out there who are trying to actually get involved, and FEMA saying, no, we don't want you involved. Well, that's exactly what charities like the Red Cross are set up to do. They intercept people's money and the goods that people are donating, and nobody realizes that these things are all done by design, right? So now that this has occurred with Helene, the Red Cross is begging people to help, and of course people are naturally want to help. So while everybody's focusing on FEMA, let me bring your attention to the Red Cross and their connections to witchcraft and the occult, and then you could decide whether or not you would like to try to directly help anybody involved, or you would like to just, because it's faster and you're supposed to automatically trust in these places like the Red Cross, just send money to them blindly, thinking that it's getting in the hands of people who actually need it. So, of course, the conservative media, Fox Corporation, launching drives for the American Red Cross. The American Red Cross is asking people to donate money, but they're also asking people to maybe donate blood too. And that's really what this stuff all is about, right? I mean, that red liquid that they love so much. So if you didn't know the origins of the Red Cross, let me explain it to you. Clara Barton is the visionary leader and founder of the Red Cross. This isn't a conspiracy. You can look up Clara Barton for yourself. Who is Clara Barton? Oh, she's the founder of the Red Cross. Now, what they won't tell you is Clara Barton's direct connection to being a witch and a descendant of the Salem witches, right? Here's an article from 1993 that I have. The Los Angeles Times, family history proves bewitching of descendants of Salem witches, right? Colonial America, 3 presidents, Clara Barton, Walt Disney, John Kennedy, and 1 unborn child are among those whose ancestors were accused of consorting with the devil 300 years ago. So what am I getting at here? Well, I'm getting at a direct connection between Clara Barton and the occult, just like those other people mentioned there, like Walt Disney, who very clearly you could see a connection between Walt Disney, Satanism, And of course, secret societies, because Walt Disney is one of the founding fathers of DeMolay. And what's DeMolay? Well, DeMolay is the Freemasons organization that grooms and recruits children to, make them better children. And then when they get older, they push them into Freemasonry. But we all know what that really meant and what was really going on at Disney's close association and obsession with children. So Walt Disney was connected to DeMolay and connected to witchcraft and the Salem witches. And is it coincidence that Clara Barton, the founder of the Red Cross, happens to be connected to the Salem witches and is also connected to what? The Eastern Star, which is the secret society for females, very much like Freemasonry, where they learn that Lucifer is God. And of course, they play the role of pretending to be Christians, which is what Clara Barton has done, which is what all these people in the occult do. They pretend out in the open that they're Christians. So how could you question a Christian? And you might say, well, that's crazy. Why are we not questioning these people? Well, look how dumb most people are. I mean, all it took was Russell Brand to pretend to get baptized in a pond for people out there to believe everything that he says and think that he's saved by the blood of Christ, because all he has to do is put on a little show for everybody. And then everybody thinks that these government agents are now saved and they're now Christians, they're one of us, right? Nobody judges the tree by its fruit. So it's funny if you actually look up Clara Barton and you look up how was the American Red Cross founded. It says Clara Barton and a circle of her acquaintances founded the American Red Cross, right? It's always right in front of our faces. And for anybody out there that doesn't know, well, you do actually know, because when you hear the word circle, well, what do you think of? The witch's circle, right? The protection circle. I mean, everybody's seen all of these famous paintings or depictions of witches. They're always in a circle, right? The big pentagram with a circle around it. The witches always holding their hands in a circle, right? So how convenient that they use that terminology in a search, that it was a circle of her acquaintance. Now, Clara Barton, make no mistake about it, was a member of the Eastern Star, has direct connections, of course, to the Salem witch trials and descendants of witches, because all of these people are. So you can even see in the Eastern Star logo, for anybody out there, I mean, this stuff is so in our faces, you just don't realize how in our faces it is, right? You see this, you're like, I don't even know what that is. Is that in my town? Oh yeah, it's in your town. You just don't know it. But you can find it now that you're aware of it. And look how obvious this stuff is. Look at the logo. I've talked about this over the years. I mean, this shows you how the dumbing down of humanity, right? The logo, that is an upside-down pentagram, is it not? What do we associate the upside-down pentagram with? Satanism, right? Everybody's seen the upside-down pentagram. You see it around Halloween, go into one of those spirit stores. You see the pentagrams, the upside-down pentagrams, okay? It's literally the logo for the Eastern Star, okay? The upside-down pentagram. So they don't even hide their affiliation to the occult. Now, there's tons of Eastern Star Order chapter for Clara Barton, but there's tons of chapters of obviously Eastern Star. And Eastern Star might not be as common as Freemasonry, but you will likely find it in every other town, if not every town across the earth. There is a lodge. You just have to look for it. Most people don't. Now, here's the other thing with the American Red Cross. The logo, right? What do you think this is, right? You think it's a plus sign? You think that the American Red Cross is using just a plus sign, that it's not actually a cross? They call it the American Red Cross, right? Okay, this is connected directly to the Golden Dawn Cross and Triangle, the Golden Dawn. You know the Golden Dawn? Who's involved in the Golden Dawn? Well, for starters, the three founders of the Golden Dawn were William Robert Woodman, William Wyan Westcott, and Samuel Mathers, who were all Freemasons. How convenient, right? And of course, if you don't know, the Golden Dawn is a secret society who practice Satanism, because all secret societies really practice, the occult, which is Satanism. And it's known as a magical order. And of course, that is a direct connection to Aleister Crowley, the one whose teachings they still follow to this day. In Aleister Crowley's Thelema and Wicca, they have their roots come out of the Golden Dawn. So the Golden Dawn is really one of the founding orders that a lot of these occults, a lot of these secret societies have kind of spurned out from, right? So back to Clara Barton, right? So that cross is symbolic to the Golden Dawn, right? And if you look into and you research the Golden Dawn, the true symbol of the Golden Dawn is the red cross above a white triangle. These emblems represent the forces of manifestation of the divine light concentrated in the white triangle. And then it goes on to say the red cross of Tipperith is placed above the white triangle, Tipperith. And that's what the red cross represents, the red cross of Tipperith, which of course, you could find in this like other religion that you're not allowed to talk about. But of course, the Kabbalah, the tree of life, yeah, it's one of the concepts in the tree of life. The sixth Kabbalistic tree of life is, in fact, the Tippereth. So there's a connection directly right there to the Kabbalah, which is, again, that's, if you don't know about the origins of the Kabbalah and Freemasonry and these secret societies, the Eastern Star, etc., they're all rooted together. Okay, they teach the Kabbalah inside of these secret societies. So there's this illusion that these people who follow the Kabbalah are chosen, and there's this illusion that people that follow the Kabbalah read the Old Testament and believe in that, but they don't. They believe in black magic. They believe in Satan. That's who they worship. When you hear terminology used over and over and over, like divine light, manifestation of divine light, which is what it says in the Golden Dawn, they're talking about Lucifer, right? This even goes back to Albert Pike talking about Lucifer being the light bearer. That's what they actually believe. So the Red Cross obviously always rolled out. What's the other thing the Red Cross likes to do? The Red Cross always wants you to donate that red liquid inside your body, right? Which is likely the reason that I would guess that it was started in the first place. If you look at the connections between witchcraft and the Red Cross and people donating blood and how that blood is used in satanic rituals, right? But this is all crazy conspiracy fodder, right? Everybody that's covered on this channel, I've always connected them and shown you a direct connection to witchcraft, whether it's accusations of witchcraft, which again, accusations, give me a break. We know how they peddle propaganda with the witch trials now to try to cover up for all of these celebrities and their connections to the Salem witch trials, right? There's always a connection with these secret societies and witchcraft and Satanism, right? With everything. So the Red Cross is always rolled out in front of us. And right in front of our faces, we have even the logo of the Red Cross, which again, people look at and they go, well, it's not really a cross, it's a plus sign, right? It's called the Red Cross. It's a cross, okay? And it's significant to the occult. It's used in the Golden Dawn. It's significant in their logo. And we know how signs and symbols work when it comes to these people. Don't forget, one of the first videos I did, which I know everybody out there doesn't know, but I'll just mention it to you. During another natural disaster, which wasn't so natural, the Red Cross banned people from praying, right? Law enforcement officer said he was asked to leave a Red Cross shelter in Louisiana after he prayed with several flood victims. This is a real story, okay? So he was praying inside of this building. Well, what was the problem with that? I mean, this is pre all the stuff now. So this is 8 years ago, 9 years ago now. And obviously now people see the persecution more of Christians, but the Red Cross should be on all these people's radars as well. Christians should be aware of the Red Cross. They shouldn't fall for this stuff with these charities. People should directly be helping people in need. That's the way that the world should really be working. You help people directly. You know somebody who needs help, you can get them money, you help them. You know somebody needs food, you can get them food, you can help them. These companies, which is what they are, they pretend to be charities, intercept everything. They come in the middle. They're the middlemen. And they all have roots to the occult. So while we're talking about FEMA, we might as well be talking about the Red Cross and the affiliation with the founder of the Red Cross, who is Clara Barton, to the Eastern Star, which is a secret society, which really is a secret society in every town that breeds witches. That's what it does. They'll pretend that they're not, just like the Masons. They pretend. So, you have to ask yourself, how much do you need discernment, or you just need somebody to tell you? Like if the devil came to your front door, right? And he knocked and you opened the door. And he was like, and you were like, oh my gosh, the devil is at my door. And he was like, hey, you know what though? I'm a Christian now. Would you believe him? Would you be like, really? Oh, that's wonderful news. Come on in, and give him a big hug? I mean, is that all it takes for you to hear? Would it take the devil telling you that he's baptized and he now believes in Christ to make you say, hey, I forget, yes, you're one of us now? Because apparently in today's society, that's all it takes. So all witches have to do is just go, oh, we don't really practice that. All the Freemasons and the Eastern Star have to do is just go, oh no, I'm a Christian. I don't know what you're talking about. And then everybody just goes, oh yeah, I must have heard a conspiracy online. I heard this guy talking about it. Hey, I don't know what I was thinking. Listen to that guy. I know you. You're my neighbor. You wouldn't be practicing that, right? It's the same thing you hear about, like these crimes that occur. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that person did it. You don't know what's going on in their mind. All you know is the front that they put on in front of you, right? So these people put on a front. When there's an event in your town, say a parade, right? It's, what is it now? It's October, so there's fall festivals, right? Anybody out there could go to a fall festival in your town or a town near you. You'll probably see a table with Freemasons or Eastern Star Witches with pamphlets, and they always go out and they pretend, hey, we're here. We look like normal people like everybody else. What? We worship the devil? No, we don't. We're here to help out the children's hospital and the local town and give to charity and all this other stuff. You want to donate to us, the money goes directly to the hospital. And everybody just falls for it, hook, line, and sinker, right? And what do you think the government's rooted in? It's rooted in these secret societies. How do you think they've masterminded this sabotaging of our governments? Because they've infiltrated our governments. How did they infiltrate it? Through secret societies. That's the big thing. Again, I keep saying that a lot lately. Because I understand, I try to think about the mind. I try to think about a lot of new people who are new to this stuff. And it is difficult to think, when you start going down a rabbit hole, so to speak, or you start thinking about this stuff, how would they be able to take control of all of this, right? Like, oh, so that person's a Satanist and that person's a Satanist. And then they just go, what? They're all just coincidentally Satanists and they're putting these, well, when you understand the secret societies like Freemasonry, then you say, oh, this is how they network. So they're in my town. And then you go, wait, so who in my town is a Freemason? Well, it'd be pretty hard to find out because they don't openly admit it, right? But why don't you go to your town council meeting and ask the people on the board or, your representatives what they're involved in. And, they'll deny it. Follow, go walk around when they drive away. Stand outside the lodge for a couple days. See who goes in, right? They'll probably call the police on you or something. But still, you can't see inside the windows. They're all fake windows at these lodges, right? Fake windows. Why do you think they have fake windows? Ask them. Oh, we have fake windows because why? Oh, because they don't want somebody to look inside and see the rituals that are going on. There's no windows in there because you're not allowed to see what they're doing. Don't you get it yet? So once you understand that this is how they network, then you can start saying to yourself, oh, so this is how they've infiltrated. They're in my Congress. They're in my public school. So this is how my school suddenly is pushing all of this insane doctrine on my kids. Instead of normal people standing up and going, no, we don't want this. Absolutely not. Because they've infiltrated. They've infiltrated everywhere in our society. And that's the ground level that it starts at. And I know a lot of people, they always look at the top level. And they always want to talk about the Vatican. They want to talk about Israel. And that's obviously correct to do. All these other, the Bilderberg, all these secret societies, right? But when you think about it from a level of trying to just get people to wake up, that could seem overwhelming because you're like, well, who are these people that are involved in this? But then when you say like on the ground and you're like, this is why this stuff's going on in your town too. Because don't people out there look and say, hey, why is this doctrine, this woke stuff getting pushed in the schools in my town? I'm in this town here. Who's pushing it? Oh, well, the school board. Or who are they getting their order? Oh, well, wait a minute. They're all networking through this and they're all on board with these things. So this is how they get it on a quote unquote global scale or a worldwide scale, whatever you want to call it. So anyway, back to Clara Barton. Very important to just note about this whenever you see the Red Cross, right? And again, I wouldn't be surprised, even though I know nobody really listens anymore, that they don't put something out there like, no, the Red Cross is not a part of the occult. No, Red Cross is not it seems like whenever I bring attention to some of these things, even though my videos don't go viral, like they somehow just start talking about a lot of this stuff. So I'm sure they'll say, hey, don't listen to this. This guy's talking about, clear up the Red Cross are a bunch of Satanists and they want your blood. Of course they'll try to just discredit and say something like that, which, again, I'm talking about the origins with how the Red Cross really is always asking for blood donations. I mean, how do you think they were getting blood for rituals back in the day, right? I mean, back then, if they were trying to do abductions, probably a lot harder, believe it or not, back then, even though they didn't have technology because people were more protective of their family. They weren't letting strangers run off with their kids. So there was a lot of different ways that they need blood. Blood is the core of all their rituals, right? So people were willingly, go donate to the Red Cross because there's people who are wounded in war or wounded over here and they could use your blood, right? Well, they love blood. I mean, that's really the core of Satanism is the blood of the youth, isn't it? Right? So anyway, back to Clara Barton. Clara Barton, Red Cross, Eastern Star, connections to the Salem Witch Trial, all huge coincidences, right? I'm sure even the logo for the Red Cross being that cross, the Tipperith, which is associated with the Golden Dawn and associated with those people that we all love so much who don't cause any problems over in the other side of the world. They cause no problems. They didn't hijack that land during World War II, the Balfour Declaration. They didn't steal it and then call it the state of, well, you know what? I mean, they're all good people. They're all chosen, right? I mean, give me another break. I thank everybody for being here. I hope you're all doing well. God bless all of you as always and your families.